Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hold on one second, y'all. Just want to make sure that we are all set over here. I'm noticing that when we have our people jump on in the morning, if they're not in at a certain time for the music starts, it kicks it out on our end. So then it sounds like we have blank sound over here on Morning Social on the radio. But good morning, everybody. Glad to be back with you all one more time for Morning Social. I am Tennille. It's me, y'all, the the vessel that God chose to use this morning to speak with you, to lead this group into another conversation about goodness and purpose and all of those great things. So I'm excited to be on with you all one more time right here on Morning Social. So we are active. We are ready to rock and roll. We are ready to move forward. And it is that time to be able to speak to God real quick. So let's go ahead and take a moment to honor Him. Father God, thank you for this morning. Thank you for your presence in our lives. Thank you, God, for being our power source. Thank you for being everything that we need to wake up, to arise, to start our day, to get started on your path for our lives. God, thank you for allowing us free will and letting us make our own choices. Today we choose you, God. Today we are acknowledging you. Today we are moving by your might. Today we are stepping out on faith with you. Today, God, we are putting our trust in you, our hope in you. Today, God, we see you in 3D form right in our face, God, that you are right here with us and that we can move forward in everything we're called to do because of you. Thank you, God, for being our present help. Thank you, oh Father God, for being a valued part of our life. Oh, Father, thank you for allowing us to add something to your earth today. We ask you, oh God, to cover over us and keep us. And God, if there's no one who knows how to pray, or anyone who has never learned how to pray, doesn't know how to start, doesn't know how to come to you, feels like their conversation wouldn't be proper, or feel like they don't look the way they should look to you, even in their shame state, God, we thank you right now that you're lifting that burden up off of them, showing them that they are beautiful because you made them and you created them and they were created in your image, God. So they have to be a beautiful being, that they're able to come and talk to you as they are, as you work through them and get closer to them, then that'll change. And the things that they see that are not like you will be moved out the way and they'll become more like you. Thank you, oh God, for that. And we ask you about, oh God, if there's any of your fivefold or anyone who has been running for you for any amount of time, oh God, who knows you and has a relationship, who calls themselves believer, that makes sure that they are your sons and your daughters, God. We ask that you give us another level of zeal for you. We ask that you come onto us, oh Father God, and rest in our hearts today. God, take over in this place in Jesus' name. Amen. Y'all, I am excited about this morning. I am really excited this morning. Okay, so I'm being told that hey, Clubhouse, listen. For some reason, it's showing out today, so it muted me out even after I muted myself. So we just got through doing prayer, and so you can hear it right there if you go on Facebook on f2g.radio. If you go over to YouTube on Faithful to God Network, if you go over on my personal page at I am Tennille on YouTube, then you can hear that all over again. That was a good one just for you. But we're going to continue to move on. We are right here on Clubhouse at f2g.network because we are, this is where our conversation stems from. So we're making sure that we are live right here to be able to go for it. And our topic today is the power of presence. Okay, the power of presence, not presents with the T, not gifts. Okay, the power of presence and making yourself known and being in the place that you're supposed to be in. So we thank God for all of those things that we're excited about today. We're amused by today. We're amazed by today. You know, all of these great words that we have. I am astounded by today. I'm just excited. I'm excited because it's a new day and God thought enough of me to put me in it. That's the way I feel about that. He could have said no more, but he did not, huh? He could have said you ain't got nothing today. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and rest on. Huh? He could have said, you know what, sis, you're done. You're finished. You are showing the comeback, your resilience tight, your you know, black game is strong. No. But today he said you have something else to add to this earth. And so therefore I need you to breathe on. And I woke up this morning like We breathed in a day, a new breath, a breath I've never breathed before. I'm excited about that to be able to do those things. So, today we welcome you all back again to Morning Social right here on f2gradio.net. And we're going to go forward with our show today. So, let's talk about the power of presence. We know that and I kind of feel like this is leaning more toward the entrepreneurship part and not really just about spiritual growth. But remember that spiritual growth does intertwine with entrepreneurship when you're a believer. So you can have both. Let me hear you. You can have both. Yes. Yes, you can. Obama said it. Yes, you can. All right. My favorite president. There's a flickering light in here. We're going to have to make sure we take care of that real quick. Um, and so well, I want to talk to you about the power of presence because one of the things that I've learned in entrepreneurship is if they can't see you, they can't buy from you. If they can't see you, they can't promote you. If they can't see you, they don't know you. If they can't see you, what you selling, who is you, what happened? I'm sorry, you did what? Because they can't see you. So the power of presence is a massive thing. It's a strong thing. It's just not something that you say. It's something that you do. You have to be consistent. You have to put some work behind being present for your business, being present for your life, being present to represent God, being present in all of those ways. This is something that's very important. Okay, you being present is very important. You showing up for yourself is very important. And again, it's not always just going to be a spiritual talk. It's going to be some connections to God all the time. But at some point, you got to see that entrepreneurship requires for you to be present. Okay. And so as we move forward in what we're called to do, we're making sure that we set ourselves up to be seen, to be noticed, to be active for ourselves, to set ourselves up to be in our best form of ourselves, to be our best selves. That's the one thing that I teach in any class that I'm doing when we're doing anything going forward with loving yourself or empowering others or expressing yourself freely, any of those things that I'm doing, I'm working on with anybody, the one thing I want you to remember is that one of the things I want you to remember, you are important. You are. And whatever you're doing, you are important. And whatever you're saying, you are important. And whatever you're working on, you are important. Don't put yourself aside for somebody else when you are important, especially for your business, especially for your life, especially when you have something to give and something to offer. As an entrepreneur, we have to make sure that we are setting our businesses up to be seen, to be present, to set up, go forth, and make sure that you have all that you need to have. You have to make sure that you are showing up for events. You have to make sure that you're showing up for yourself. Listen, Kelly Webb is going to be on here in a minute, y'all. Listen, when I tell y'all, gets on my nerves. Huh. So, okay, what we doing next? How we doing? Why she over here laughing? What we doing next? How we supposed to do this? What you go? Okay, when are you gonna do this? So when can I go crazy? So when can I go crazy? Favorite thing that I love to hear her do because I know that she's got her eye on me on. Are you ready yet? But she trying not to bother me so she don't say nothing. And then when I first bring up, you know what, I'm thinking about starting to do interviews again. Oh, when can I go crazy? Because you opened the door. You know, and then it's, oh, you know what I was thinking about? I need to travel over here and go do. We need to get back to what we were doing 3 years ago. We need to get back to what we were doing 2 years ago. We need to pick up where we left off so we can get the businesses back rolling. When can I go crazy? You know, and it's like, okay, well, let's not go crazy yet. Let's not. I'm like, slow down, grasshopper. You well, I should say slow down or calm down, little bulldog. She be ready to go. So I'm like, it's when can I go crazy? And that's her thing. And I'm okay with that because it motivates me to go forward. It motivates me because I know that she's been in this public thing for decades now. And now that she's been doing it for so long, I know that she is looking at me like, you got the goods, you need to go. There's no point in you sitting here. And she's not the only one that's told me. Literally, I've been told, you got the goods. It's time for you to go. My mentor, shout out to, oh, I almost called it by official titles. Shout out to K Monique. Um, you got the goods. Keep it going. You're running this thing. You have. I mean, she is a number one best-selling author 3 times now, almost four times. 3 times on number one, and I think she's number two once. But she is amazing. And when she looks at you and tell you got the goods, she don't say that to everybody. But you got the goods. It's time to go. And I know I got it. I it took me a long time to believe in myself enough to know that my presence is needed. It took me a long time to believe in myself to know that I am worth it. It took me a long time to believe in myself, and all of that comes from stuff that's told to you when you're young, the way you're treated when you're younger, the way that you receive people, and because of the way you were treated, and then it starts at home. Listen, if you're not empowering your children at home, they're not going to know how to be empowered outside the home. They're going to receive stuff that's not for them outside the home because you didn't do your job at home. This was my thing. B was quiet. He stayed to himself. He was a nerdy kid. I was kind of shocked by it, but I was like, okay, well, I wasn't Miss Popular when I was younger either. I was kind of nerdy and quiet, but he took it to a whole nother level. He was like Urkel nerdy, like, right. So I was like, okay, got it. I see what I'm working with here. Little point dash. I got it. Um, but I was empowering him at home. So what y'all see now with the music, with him playing and getting in his zone, with him talking about different topics and able to hold his own in any room he walks in. I mean, he doesn't have to hold his head down because he walks into a room with a confidence and a confidence that is amazing to me. He can sit at a panel with Fortune 500s and speak on it. He can sit, listen, hasn't hit a millionaire status yet. Notice I said yet, but can sit there with millionaires and amongst millionaires and have conversation. Same way I can, but I had to teach me and I had to learn from other people and bring people around me to make up for what I didn't learn at home. So I'm teaching him as I'm learning. So he getting it firsthand goods. I'm getting it. I'm learning. I'm experiencing. I'm passing it on. Like I don't have time to stop now. I got to teach you as much as I can. So if something happens to me now, I'm letting him know at 25 that this is what's going on. This is how you deal with this. This is how you go forward because now you need to take notes. But he can hold his own because it started at home. And I've always taught him what you say is important. Say what you need to say, just don't cuss people out. You can tell somebody about themselves without cussing them out. And that's me. I can cut you down without cussing you out. I ain't gotta cuss you out. I just tell you the truth. And it's different. It hit different when you know it's the truth. Just like when people go, oh, it must be true because she acting like this. No, no, no. No, it's not true. That's why I'm acting like that. It don't bother me. I mean, the truth don't bother me. If you tell me the truth about me, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna act up with it. I'd be like, truth, that that's my response when it's true. When it's not, you making noise. When it's not true, all you doing is making noise. And I'm gonna tell you that. Well, you was making all that noise, so I was letting you do your noise thing. But when it's true, I'm gonna say it's true. When you're saying something to me that I understand and is with me and I feel like it's me, yeah, 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 pretty much. Now if you say something to me that hurts, don't get me wrong, certain things that people say to me, that's true. That if I hurt somebody for real and I feel like I had no right to do what I was doing or I really hurt them unintentionally or intentionally, y'all. It hurts me to hurt people like that. And I will say, hey, I'm sorry, you right. And that's where my hurt comes in. That's hold on, let me fix that. But when I know that I'm right, or I know, or I feel that I'm right and I'm standing on it, yeah, you being hurt is you being hurt. You'll be okay. Because the reason why they hurt you is because it's too true for you and you haven't accepted the truth or been able to deal with the fact that truth is truth. Because you don't want people to know how honest or unhonest you are. It is what it is. You change it up. That's what that is. So, your presence, even in business, with that, your truth, your honesty, and your truth is what you need to have in your presence. When I walk into a room and I'm talking to somebody and I'm giving them information, I'm being as honest as I can because that's all I have. And so I want you to be able to come back and talk to me later and say, you said this, that, and the other. And we go, oh, okay. Yeah, that's what worked for me. Did it work for you? Yeah, it did, or it didn't. Well, how didn't it work for you? Like, and then I also asked, how did it work? How did that work for you? Was your presence known? Did you walk out in faith when you went in? Did you have your head up? Were you walking around slouched down with your head down in your bag? And you just, excuse me. That used to be me, y'all. Just to let y'all know. That used to be me. I used to go in rooms like that. I used to walk in the room and just, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, and go find me a seat, sit down, and not move. Everybody's networking and I'm sitting down. I'll get up now and move around, but when I see like I gotta scope out the room, I'll go sit down, but my confidence is different. I'm sitting up, my shoulders are back. I'm looking around, I'm waving at people, hey, how you doing? But I'm still scoping out the land. That's different from walking in, sitting down with your glasses on and your book and you flipping open your book trying to figure out life. That's totally different. So you have to know that your presence is important, and because your presence is important, you need to make sure that you are seen, heard, confident, and moving forward. Be in expectance. Expect greatness, y'all. I One of the things I say to be constantly, and I think I say it to a lot of people now, mostly kids. I say, be great and expect greatness to be added unto you. And that's I'm putting that on my list of stuff I got to work on too. Um that that is something that I am excited about and that I'm proud of. To because the thing with it is the first time I said it to B, I'll never forget it. He was walking out the door and he's going to play a gig. And I was like, all right, be great and expect greatness to be added unto you. And he stopped and came back and said, ooh, that was good. And I was like, what? I said, well, that's going to be on the mug, B. He was like, oh, that wasn't just for me. No, it starts with you, son. I try a lot of this stuff out on you. If it motivates you. But that was just in that moment of what God gave me for him. And I'm like, it's okay. We're going to go ahead and put that on the mug because sometimes you don't even have to say nothing to people. Some people ain't going to walk up to you because they're still walking around with their head down in their bag in their hand. And they're just trying to get through the crowd. But when you sip your tea and they read your cup, or when you walk past in that t-shirt and they're reading it because they happen to look up, it gives them motivation to be present. Your presence is important. You walking into a room with a smile on your face with confidence, people see greatness. You may not have two dimes to rub together. You got on the same suit you've been wearing for the past 2 years. You got on shoes that you bought from a secondhand store and then shined up and put on. You walking through here and up under them pants, you ain't told nobody that them stockings or got a rip in it or a hole, or you're walking around here with your little stylish stuff going on, and you just like, I am ashy because I ain't even have no more lotion this morning up under these doggone pants, but I put a little bit of this grease on my hands and stuff. Them elbows is looking good, and they up under this jacket. I gotta go. You ain't have enough of your foundation 25 to put on. So you went ahead and you just put some lotion on your face and lined up them good lips and eyes, and you put on your gloss and you pop in and you went ahead and did your thing because you pulled your hair back and you was like, today's the natural look. that's what that's what we would take it and change it up. While we have some things to make it happen, but now we got the natural look. our hair. We couldn't get our hair done, so we wet it, put that good juices and berries, and let it curl right on, and now we got the wet look. I mean, we are we are a people that will find a way to make it happen, but our presence is known because we walk in the room with confidence with the little wet look, and we walk in the room with confidence with the lip popping, and we walk in the room with confidence with our secondhand shoes on, and we walk in the room with confidence with that rip in the stockings because we know that people can't see it, but pants ain't coming down. We walking in the room with that same suit that we've been wearing for the past 2 years because we took the shirt and changed it up to a different shirt that we might have got from that same secondhand store, so it's new to you. Uh-huh. And we throwing this here on with this new outfit and with this old outfit with this new to you shirt, and we gonna go on up in here and we gonna represent, because as long as my confidence expounds from me and it's loud and I'm able to tell you who I am and I'm able to speak life into the room, that I'm doing something of importance. It's time for me to make sure that you understand that my presence is important. I'm going to walk in this room. I'm going to stand on this stage. I'm going to sit, even if I'm not speaking, even if I'm not on the platform, if I'm the one sitting in the audience, I'm going to sit here with my legs crossed. And y'all, I don't cross my legs too often, but I might throw that ankle over that other one and just sit here and relax my body. And I'm going to sit in confidence. I'm going to get my little lean on and I'm going to listen intentionally and make sure that I'm hearing everything that's being said. I'm going to take notes for myself because I need to make sure that I have it. I mean, even if I decide that I don't want to write stuff down to look deep, I'm going to bring out my phone and record it so I can hear it later. But I'm going to record and I'm going to listen if that's allowed. If that's not allowed, then notebook to hand. Okay, let's go. Let's get it going. Or iPad to hand, like whatever I need to be doing, I'm going to make these notes happen. And I'm going to keep going forward because I need to do that. And it's important for me. My presence in this place is important. I make up of just me being confident, makes up a part of your event, even when I'm not part of it, because I'm sitting in the audience. So as I'm sitting there, somebody next to me that might not be as confident as I am is now checking me out. She looks nice. She's confident. All of a sudden, you'll start seeing people that have been slumped over, just sitting there, kind of sit up a little bit more, and speak to the people that's around you. Cause I mean, I sit down, hey, how you doing? Oh, I love that necklace. Especially if I see them with their heads down. Especially if I see that they are not injected in what we're doing, that they aren't being present, but they're just here. I'm gonna find something. Your purse is nice. Oh my God, look at your shoes. Where'd you get those? And if they, I'm like, you know what? Never mind, girl, because I can't wear them anyway, but they must fly. You're working some kind of, I'm going to drop a confidence bomb somewhere. I need to implant something in you. Something. Even if it's a little bit, I'm going to give you a little bit of it. I'm going to let you know that you are being great, that you're beautiful, that you're loved some type of way, that I see you, that you're, and acknowledging people. Just letting them know that they being seen is a big, big deal. I'm gonna do that whether you female, I'm gonna do that whether you male. I mean, I see guys and I'm like, okay, sir, I see you. That's me. But I do that because I'm a confidence builder. I'm an empowerment mover. I am a disruptor of things that's unlike God. And I'm gonna shift the thing into where it needs to be. If God is sending me there, I'm gonna do it. That's just who I am. And I'm going to go for it in my day of making sure that whatever I'm doing or whoever I'm talking to, that they're empowered for that day because their presence is needed. The power of presence is so important. If you're consistent, we can see you on a consistent basis, just like this with Morning Social. If we can see you every morning and you're here every morning and you're consistent and you're coming through, and I know you're here, then when I start doing other things and I start doing invites and I start doing events, I'm going to be looking for you because we have a relationship now. We have a communication going on. I'm going to be looking for you the same way that you're going to be looking for me. I'm going to be making sure that you have an opportunity to be a part of this thing because you've been consistent. I cannot worry about whether or not somebody's feelings get hurt on morning social when because they weren't pulled up in a certain amount of time, or they felt like they had a platform that they could just do their own thing on, and I shifted, and so this ain't what they want to do. Okay, your platform might not be for me either certain days, but I'm gonna come through when I can or when I feel like it's for me. I try not to sit in places that I don't feel like I need to be, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm present for the things that I need to be present for. I'm gonna make sure that I'm at the networking event. I'm gonna make sure that I'm at um, the Christian events. I'm gonna make sure that I'm at the productions I need to be at. I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the room with the millionaires that I'm trying to be like. I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the Fortune 500 groups that I need to be in to make sure that I'm moving forward. So when I get there, when F2G blow up like that, when we in those spaces, we already have the door open. We're not waiting on nobody to open for us because we're already in there. Because we're qualified before we're edified into anything else. We're already qualified by God. My God is big, so ain't nothing I do little. I'm here for it. You can't walk up to me talking about, oh, you still got your little radio station? Listen, I've had people say that. You still got your little radio station? And I'm like, nope, I don't have a little radio station. I have a big radio station. It's called F2G Radio. Nothing I do is little. I'm just saying. Listen, Kelly, I'm just saying. That's just me though. I don't like that. I catch myself saying that and I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Not little force of habit. You still rocking your business? Are you still doing this? Are you still doing that? So I'm training myself because we have a habit of your little, your little, your little. No, nothing I do is little. Everything I do is big. I serve a big God, and if I'm made in his image, how can I do anything little? The only thing that God made little was babies, and they grow up to be big things. So my business already been in the baby stage. It's now growing up to be big things. It was in baby stage when it was in my imagination and when it was in my mind. So yes, we do big things over here. Our presence is known. The power of presence is so important. And you have to let people see who you are. So don't ever think that you are stuck in a place where you cannot do better, be better, or grow better. Because this is a time for us to be able to do just that. Okay. So we're going to take a quick break right here on F2G Radio. I do want to drop this in y'all heads. Okay. I need to drop this right on in here. We have an event coming up June 3rd, I believe. I'm going to make sure that we get the information together, but June 3rd, we have the 11-1 event that's going for. This is for youth and young adults. It's for everybody, but the focus is youth and young adults. It's ran by none other than B Snow. He is presenting out along with the team. We're all presenting, but he'll be spearheading this to be able to have a worship night. And the worship night is called, come on, y'all, emergency worship encounter. So listen, he said, Mom, we need an ER. We need the emergency room for the worship leaders. And I said, okay, the emergency room for the worship leaders. Let's go. So it's called the emergency worship encounter. So we are calling forth all the youth and young adults to come and worship God, to learn how to worship God, to tackle in that thing where we are feeling like we're a little low, don't know how to connect with each other. Look, I told y'all the power of presence is everything. So we will be hopefully on the west side of Chicago working this thing out. We will be inside of a space that is part of the network. Okay, so we're praying that this all comes through, and we're gonna be right there in the heart of Chicago trying to um, get some people saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, but also those that worship, getting them acknowledged, amplified, activated, acclimated into the worship, just giving them the space that they need to have to go forth. So there's going to be ministers of movement there. There's going to be psalmists there. There's going to be band there. We're going to speak the word. If there's a prophetic word that has to go forth in the house or needs to go forth in the house, and God allows us to do that, we will be doing that as well. This is excitement for us because we know that we bring the heat when we come into an event. We know that we can open up heaven when we worship. So we are excited to have you all join us right there with us at f2gradio.net. We will have the Eventbrite posting up real soon. And this is going to be an open forum. The crazy thing about it is we can say this honestly because we're working with Eric Townsend on some things. So we can honestly say that if you've ever been to one of his worship for 24s, then you're ready for our 6 hours. Because we're starting off small with the 6 hours of worship with the young people, but we are excited because we're allowing different psalmists to come in and book their time to hit the mic, different musicians and minstrels to come and jump on an instrument and play for a certain amount of time. We're allowing dancers and flaggers and tambourinists to come in and do what they need to do. We are excited about this worship. We are excited about it. So that's going to be on June 3rd. And we are, the funny thing is going to be worked out where it's like a midday worship for 6 hours. And then we're going to head out and get ready for the next thing that God has us doing. But excited about that. And then also, Kelly, I'm going to allow you come on in here to talk a little bit about the gala that's coming up as well. Are you there, Kelly Webb? Are you there? Probably not, because listen, she would normally be saying something. So, oh, I see her. She says one sec. So, in October we do have the gala that is coming up, and I'm excited about that as well because we are. I think we're stepping out on faith doing a lot of things that we are moving forward in, and that they're new to us, but they'll be annual to you all. We'll be starting this to happen over and over again. So we want to make these things popular and annual and ready to go. So I'm going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and have Kelly Webb talk about this. I'm excited, y'all. I'm really, really, really excited. But we are F2G Radio, and this is F2G Radio Network.
I know first official gala, but we're going to call it the annual gala because every year you can expect to see it. It will be in October, and it'll also be a first celebration of the amazing uh, founder and CEO of this awesome company, Mr. Neil. But this will be literally a black tie event. So this is not gonna be one of those games you coming in with some gym shoes on and some white beaters. Or no, we ain't gonna change that. We're gonna change it. Some gym shoes and some white tees. Um, this is
Listen, they can wear their
definitely
gym shoes.
a fashion forward. We'll be honoring some amazing people. Names will be released soon, more so closer to maybe like the July, August time. But this will we will be honoring some amazing people. Again, we'll be celebrating Tennille for her birthday, which is in October, and it's just gonna be a lot of fun. So come prepared. You will definitely be able to network with some amazing people that will be there. Tickets will be officially going out for I don't know. Are we doing early bird sale? I don't
Yes,
know if we're
early bird
okay.
sale this month.
Um, early bird sale will start closer to like the middle of June, because the event is in October for a specific amount of time. So I'm telling y'all now, when y'all see that early bird go up, get your tickets. Do not wait. They will not be sold at the door. You will not be able to come up to the door and say, "Can I pay?" No, you can't. But go ahead, grab your early bird tickets. Get ready to network with everyone. Get ready to sit back, enjoy, look amazing, and just fellowship with us. It's gonna be awesome. A lot more information is definitely gonna be coming out as we get closer to the event, though.
Listen, I'm telling y'all, get your bow tie ready, huh? Walk around here and get your glitter purses on. I'm just saying. Kelly said no gym shoes. Let me tell y'all something. Put your gym shoes on. Because these guys be working around here with these
This is
tuxes on.
unspeakable.
Listen, they be walking around with these tuxes on and these gym shoes and be slaying. I don't need to see. I want you to be comfortable, but I like to see that. So you never know what I might have on up under my dress. I'm just saying. You pull up, but it might be some gym shoes up under there. You never know.
Tania,
Yes.
I thought I was gonna be spearheading it.
Yeah, you know I'm not gonna wear no high heels all the time. We
Well, you different. Okay,
I
now
want to
so
see
I guess
them.
gym shoes will be allowed, but your gym shoes better be clean.
Yeah, I mean that part. Did go get a fresh pair of kicks though. If you're
Act
gonna
like
wear
you going to the sneaker ball.
right,
We can do it like that.
if you gonna wear it like that, know that they're gonna be shoe cams around. Just cause we're gonna make sure your face is attached to the shoes you wear. Just um yes. But I know me. And you'll look up and I'll come in there with a heel on and then turn around and look at me again and I'll be out there talking about ready. Got on my Converse. Let's kick it. That's just me. But that's just what we do. Listen, this is why I be looking at Kelly like when they say we letting her spearhead, I be like, because she finna stop me from doing everything I would normally do. This is not. I'm not finna be allowed to wear this, that, and the other. But
Yeah,
yes,
y'all see the profile, right?
yes,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
listen, every time. So we want y'all to come out, have fun, be ready to do the dang thing, and we're gonna release the colors with the flyer that comes out this month. And I know she talked about the early bird special that'll be happening in June. That's fine. The information for the regular prices and all of that stuff will be coming out because that'll be the flyer that we circulate throughout the rest of the summer, getting ready for October. But get your tickets fast. It's not going to be a huge gala this time, so space is limited, and we will be on the move. Like once tickets are sold, they are sold. I'm not adding tables. We're not adding seats. We are gonna do it the way we're doing it, and we'll see you the following year. So yeah. So now we are back to our conversation. Our conversation is the power of presence. So let your presence be known in everywhere you go, right there at that gala and at 11 emergency worship account. Okay. So I want to make sure that we are alive and well in the building this morning. Let's talk about the power of presence. And what it looks like to be present for yourself when it comes to business. Now, like I told y'all before, yes, we have the power of presence when it comes to spirituality, but sometimes you got to shift conversations. We're talking about business. We're right now in May. Okay, first of all, this is mental health awareness month, and then it's also for us, as far as entrepreneurs, we're shifting now into small businesses, making sure that your business is set for this time of the season, because we are literally going into ending the second quarter. Right? So your first quarter, of course, January, February, March. Your second quarter, April, May, June. So we're in the middle of the second quarter. So being in the middle of the second quarter means that you need to be having yourself set before month six hits. Your paperwork needs to be in order. Your interviews need to be set up if you're going to do interviews, or if you're going to talk about your business, or you have plans to be a vendor. All of those things are moving forward as a vendor, supplier, because that's what I do. I supply vendors. Is that funny? It's funny. I supply vendors to other companies. So the vendors go through me to get put onto different events in different states and different. I haven't gotten into different countries yet, my different states in the U.S. And so I know that if you're in Baltimore, Maryland, and there's an event going on down there, then I need to be able to contact you. So I'm building my list of vendors to know who can go where. And then I have travel vendors that will go different places to be at these different events. But that's your presence being known. You're being in the place that you need to be in and set for business. But let's talk about the power of presence and how important your presence is. So, Brian Bird, when you talk about presence and you being in the building of something, or being the midst of something, how does that make you feel, and what does that do for your confidence?
It makes me feel amazing because I'm putting into action what I am thinking, what I'm envisioning, um, the goal of the steps, and this is like beyond the just me thinking about it, and and man, I wish I could do that. Like being in that moment it's amazing, and at the same time, I will have to like literally from time to time again like come against like doubting that I can handle the role, I can handle the position, making sure my presence is known. Really, it's really it's like each day I have to encourage myself for the day, so I can make sure I can stay focused and I can allow my presence to be known. It's really just staying focused on what's in me, what I carry, and how do I carry it well. That's really like the biggest thing that I'm focusing on and learning. Is like how do I carry what's in me well, and how can I distribute what do I have on the inside of me so other people can see it. In the context of what we're talking about, like being in a place of business and building and all that type of stuff.
Okay, cool beans. What about you, Kelly?
Um, how does it make me feel? I mean, you know what? I think I'm so used to to doing it. I don't really know how it makes me feel anymore. Um, I think at this point is I know what needs to be done, and I make those moves. I'm not a person, to be honest. I'm not a person that likes to step too far out there, but I know I need to, so I will. Sometimes I have to be pushed, but so I guess I know I need to do it. So I don't really have a feeling. I think if I put too much of my feelings into it, then I probably won't do it because I'm not that person that likes to be in the forefront. I don't really like the to talk to. I don't like being a mix of crowds, but I know I will because that's who I I need to be and who I am, and that's what my position is. Regardless, I'm always thrown in that. So I try not to really put too much thought into it. I do it, I move forward, and then yeah, that's just me.
Okay, well, I'm
Or
glad
that's
that you
how I
brought.
move with things or my thoughts.
I'm glad that you brought up feelings, because that was one of my questions: is how can you move your feelings out of the way when it comes to being in the midst of like a work environment, and you know you have to move forward. You can't always be um always being um on point, connected, and trying to move forward. So how do you move your feelings out of the way to make sure that you're getting the job done when you're seeing something that's not quite what you want it to be? Like, how is it for you? Let me break that one down a little bit differently. How is it that you can move your feelings out of the way when you're in the room full of people and you feel like your presence isn't being acknowledged? Let me say it that way.
Um, how do I move my feelings out the way when I feel like my presence isn't acknowledged? Um, I think a lot of, well, I had to learn how to control my emotions with things. Um, I used to be a person that was like really emotional with not having my feelings acknowledged, and that's probably because that's how it was when I was younger. Um, but I had to learn that my emotions aren't gonna me being emotional will not allow me to move to my next level. Um, if I go somewhere and my presence isn't acknowledged, well, my presence isn't gonna be acknowledged because I'm not making my presence known. People aren't just going to automatically look up and say, "Oh my God, there go Callie." No, that's not what's going to happen. I have to step in that room and I have to say, "I'm here," even when I don't want to. When I walk in the room now, it's, oh, I know I'm in here. I know what my purpose is. I know what my mission is. Let's go. I want to go meet people. I need to go up to you and introduce myself. I can't allow um, my fear of possible rejection or my fear of not having you acknowledge me back be what stops me. So I have to check my emotions at the door. And I mean that's just how I do it. I go through all those feelings in the car and then I'm like, all right, let's go.
That's cool. She's like, I leave it out there where I was at. Can't bring it through the door with you. I know sometimes we talk about different parts of business, and we go into rooms and we always tell our team, like for us, for F2G, when we come in, before we pray, I say, leave everything outside. Don't bring it in here. If we're doing an event, we can't stand here and be stuck in our feelings when we have stuff to do. We can't. We can't be in here mad because so and so didn't say hi this morning, or upset because they brought such coffee and didn't bring me none. Or we come in and we sit there like it's a lot going on. We got a lot to do, and I feel like they not pulling their weight. But then you get in here and you upset outside before we even walk into the room. You've already been upset because that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna bring that upset from outside in here, and all these extra little problems that you wouldn't normally want to happen or normally happen in your groups. It starts to happen when you're working, and it's silly stuff, y'all. It's really silly stuff. It's stuff that you walk in the space and all of a sudden it's like, they ain't even put the chairs up. Now listen, I'm telling y'all that this is me. This is one of the things that I did. One of our sound checks, we walked in and I was mad about everything because everything started happening right before the event. And this is before I started really realizing that every time we do an event, we'll be fine all during the planning, all the way up to the last couple of days. of trying to get stuff done, maybe like a week before. Then stuff started happening, silly stuff. People not doing their job, or this money didn't come through to pay for this thing, or we are last minute now praying like, Lord, can you take care of this because we don't know what happened here, or a license doesn't come through, or something that we're trying to do, or we paid somebody and they're not come through. Silly stuff like that that just happens, and I'm like, this is not the way it's supposed to be happening. Then we get in the venue because now me and B done started arguing in the morning because we literally, y'all, we talk about this all the time. We've been talking about it for years. I have to fight with him every time we get ready to go to an event. There's a fight about getting stuff in the car. There's a fight about who's gonna do what, and that was planned weeks ago. Kelly, no, we be like, Lord, and then I come in like, cause I will boss up on him real quick. Like I don't have time for it no more. It used to be I'm in mama mode, like dude, please. Now I'm like, no, sir, we're not doing that because I had to change my tone. Like, we are no longer mom and son when it comes to this. I'm gonna have to work this business like it's my business, and I'm gonna have to treat you like an employee because I need to make sure that it's aligned. So I get to walk and then, no, sir, we're not doing that. We're gonna get doing this. Let's get moving. Let's go. So it starts to now, it's gotten better with us to be able to flow because I have to remember that if I continue to treat him like my son, he's gonna continue to act like it. So I need to make sure that we adjust out. When I treat him like I'm the boss, he act like he an employee. And he the co-founder. But that's it's the only way I can get things done on the day of. And so I walk in like a whole different attitude. But that specific day, I was in there like, man, they didn't put the chairs up, the table wasn't set up right, the mic area was still down. We had to wait for them to roll out. I was like, hold up, our event starts in an hour. What are y'all doing? And it's only three of us here and the sound guy. Thank God for our amazing sound guy from Fivefold Sound, Brian. Listen, Brian Gray is amazing. We love him. He is our DJ. He is DJ Deek. We love him. And so he was in with us and we had him set up his sound and everything. So while he's setting up the sound, he and B are working on the lights at the same time. And because we've been knowing him forever in 3 days, he just literally jumped into mode. So while we were setting up everything and having the people come in, we grabbed a couple of the area workers to set up everything as far as like the chairs. We were setting up our tables and our vendors and all that stuff. Brian and jumped in with B and they got the whole stage area lit. Like it's set up, the speakers are up, the sound, of course, is always amazing. But we were like, what just happened? How y'all transform in a matter of 45 minutes? Y'all did that. Y'all presence was known. Y'all presence was there. We could see it. Presentation is everything to me. And they lit it up. We had so much fun. They came in and did what they had to do. Brian came out, helped them set up the tables, got everything set up for us to be able to have a booth for us to go live from. It was amazing. And we had so much fun. But in the midst of all of that, we allow God to be God too. So while we were in there, if He changed up something, while we set up something, we adjusted. If we were in there, we were able to move forward. We moved forward. We did what we had to do in that moment, and we adjusted out. So now our feelings are out the way, and I've learned that before we walk in the door, leave whatever happened, whatever made you angry, whatever pushed you to get here early, because stuff happened. You just want to get away from it. Leave all that stuff outside the door. Let's come in here and work. Like I'm now already planning on the things that my god baby gonna be at. What can he do while he in here? I'm giving him a job. He is the young CEO of F2G Network. He's learning, and he will come in. And if I gotta get him his laptop for him to send out emails, then he gonna send out emails. Or if I gotta get him in there and teach him how to fold up a good napkin, we gonna put his little gloves on his hand and let him fold up his good napkins. Or if I gotta show him how to drop stuff in there for decor, that'll probably be our thing is put the balls in the thing and let me show you how to make this real quick, this centerpiece. Come on. Have him doing the work and getting the work done. He gonna have a job, huh? And he gonna do his job well. Because that's what we train them to do. Bring them up so they don't depart from it. It's not just the word. The word gives you the direction. It gives you the blueprint. And just like in the word, bring them up in the way they should go, that they may not depart from it. He said in the way that they should go. So we know that that means in the word. But we also know in business, that means in business. Give them the blueprint there. Apply the word to every area of your life. Let it work for you. Because the word works just like the blood still do. I'm just saying. Put that out there like that. Because that's the way I feel about that right there. Okay, so Kelly Webb, as a publicist, um, presence being known, the go crazy part. So, how many times in 1 year should a person be at least doing an interview or uh, being in some kind of atmosphere where they're being on camera or videotaped?
How many times a year?
Yes.
You want to maintain your presence every time. There's not really a number that um, there's not really a number that I can give you on how many times. But what I can say is you always want to have a consistent presence, especially if you are doing something new. Perfect example, worship night. That's something new. So with that being said, if it was something to the point where you wanted to reach the masses, if that's your goal, then yes, you need to consistently be in some kind of public eye. That's the way the public can know about you. It's one thing to do social media, but that doesn't really put a person, it doesn't really reach the masses like people think, unless you're an influencer um, of a specific kind. I'll say it like that. But if I was just to say, like, uh, for the gala, um, well, that's go. I don't know. That's gonna be private. It's a consistent. It's a consistent thing. Whenever you're doing something new, whenever you have something new being released, whenever there's a new announcement, that needs to be out there. So um, your presence needs to consistently be known. Now, as far as like panel discussions, I would honestly say as many panel discussions as that person can realistically handle and then have an expertise in. I would never say to be on a panel for uh, um, mental health awareness if you don't believe there's a such thing as mental health issues. Um, However, if you have experience or some type of expertise, yes, you should probably be on a panel of many types all month long, and quite possibly maybe two or three um, a month afterward, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, you always want to have a consistent presence in the public eye, and then when you don't have something new coming up, then you still want to be able to consistently speak on different topics that may associate with what you specialize in.
Awesome. Listen, y'all, this right here, this thing right here is good because then it gives you more of an insight of what you need to do and how you need to do it. I do want to pull on a little bit of acknowledgement of how we press forward in the middle of trauma instead of triumph when you are in these events or having to set up for your next big event and getting ready to go forth. There's always something that either tugs on your heart as yes, this is going to be great, or there's always something that tugs on you as uh-oh, this is just a lot happening. So how do you I know we say about leaving your feelings outside the door, but how do you adjust your mindset to be able to cope with whatever is coming when you already just had to leave your feelings outside the door? So those feelings are out there, but when you come through the door, there's a whole nother set of emotions that come in when you're inside of like an entrepreneur setting and also inside of like an event setting?
Um, it's so I have me personally. I have a mental way of looking at things. Um, when the seasons change, a lot of times you'll notice that you'll go to places and they have coat checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I keep a coat check no matter where I go, and I've had to deal with a lot of different things, and it's as a publicist, I have not only my own, but I have my clients as well. So I do my best to, when it comes to clients and we're at an event, to have them put theirs on me, because I know that I can't go and not have my coat check. Now I'm about to put my feelings on that coat check. I can pick them up later once I get everything done. But once I put that on that coat check, I have to now shift. I have to become a different person, kind of like an alter ego. And I walk into that space because now it's all about my client. I need to make sure my client's okay. I need to make sure that, um, if my client just went through something traumatic, or if they went through something that still has them in their emotions, a breakup, a loss, uh, a, a financial hit, like we've dealt with that too, a serious financial hit that wasn't expected. I need to now make sure that whatever it is that they need, that this still flows and no one else is able to pick up on it. So if I need to pull you to the side, even if you're on a panel, because I've done it, I'll pull them off for a second, have our conversation, get them together, put them back up, and you'll never know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's my job. I'm more than just you know, I'm more than just your person that's putting you in the public eye. I'm your confidant. I'm your backbone. I'm your support system. I hold a lot of titles under that one title of publicist, and that's what I love doing. I'm there to support you. When I'm pushing you to your next, I'm pushing you to your next, but I know everything that go along with that next. I have to know that in advance. Um, so when it comes to the emotional aspects, I'm not gonna lie, I've cried in the car because of things I know that someone is dealing with. I've done that. But when I walk in that door with you, you go look at me and I'm gonna have the biggest smile, say, "Are you ready? Let's go. You know, let's take this." And if it's a conversation where we're touching on things that you've gone through, um, such as mental health awareness, loss, anything like that, then I'm going. My next goal is, okay, in between these conversations, how can I make sure that my client is still okay? They can still be present and not pushed back to their as if they just dealt with this, if that makes sense. So yeah, I have my coat check that goes everywhere with me, and that's how I do it.
Awesome, y'all. This has been an amazing morning social in itself. We're talking about the power of presence and how important it is for your presence to be known, but also how important it is for you to realize that your presence is important. So, Brian Bird, really quick before we end this segment, how important do you think your presence is to what you're doing right now?
I believe it's very very important because my presence, uh, the way I look at it, me stepping up, me showing my presence could be an answer to somebody else's question. There are literally questions running rampant in the earth And I'm convinced that when people step up and know who they are, confidently speaking, they do the work, and they see. Okay, let me. I heard you earlier talk about like put your emotions aside, like acknowledge you feel some type of way, but you're staying focused. You will have the ability to literally answer someone's question just by just being you and stepping up. There's no conversation. There's no, hey, let's be friends. People are literally being blessed by me being confidently me and knowing that I'm doing something that's purpose driven. Yeah, that just stirred me all of a sudden. But yeah, that's the answer to my question.
Amen. Kelly, can you answer that same one?
Repeat the question real quick.
Y'all know I don't be remembering like that.
No, I know it was. I missed a part of it. I had to say
Ryan,
something.
can
What
you
you
get
call
her
it?
that question again?
So basically, how important is it for you to for how important is for you to move and your presence being known and with what you do right now?
Thank you.
How important is it for my presence to be known what I do right now? Okay. It's very important. It's important that it's important for kind of like what Brian said. It's important for myself first, so that way my confidence is where it needs to be for others. Um, with the position I have, whether it's like I said, as a publicist or entrepreneur, because I got to stop saying I'm just a publicist. I'm not just a publicist. I'm also an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
So, yeah, it's very important because my presence is my confidence. My confidence is everything. Well, actually, I need to rephrase that. My faith helps me with my presence, and then my presence helps me with my confidence. And my confidence is what's going to make sure that everything else is going to flow, no matter what my position is at the time. So it's extremely important, and it's something that I'm still working on daily. I'm not gonna say that I have it all figured out. No matter how long I've been in this thing, but it's something I'm still working on daily. But I know it's extremely important, and I know God is going to continue to walk me through this thing till I get it all right.
Okay, I love that as well. Listen, I'm telling y'all, for me, it is um, not only just important for my presence to be seen, but I know that because I am the face of F2G, and most of the time, when we're out and about and different stuff that we're doing, that when I'm interviewing, when I'm talking to people, when people are trying to contact, they're used to talking to me or with me. But for me personally, I have to be, my presence is important because people need to see that there is a black owned radio station and it's family owned and it's women owned and it's, well, woman owned and um it's owned by a young person. Like, we, representation is everything, and I know that that's a new thing for everybody to be hearing all the time. Representation is everything. Represent, it is, for our skin color to be on platforms, for our skin color to be on covers of things, for us to own things like property and making sure that we have businesses. There's not too many of us who own an entire network when it comes to radio. And so for me, this is an important time for me to be able to step up and say, we can do this. We literally just went and spoke at a school, and it was so funny because I wasn't even supposed to speak. It was supposed to be B talking about artistry and being a rapper and music and things. And he went into these classrooms, and they had us speaking to like eighth and seventh and fourth and fifth graders. And it was so amazing. We walked in one of the classrooms, and the guy, one of the little guys, he walked up to Brandon. He said, "So you're the rapper?" Like, we were looking like, wait, how did they know? And I looked at B, and I said, they don't tell them who's coming into these classrooms. Like, how did he know you were rapping? He just looked. He was like, yeah. He said, you do music, and I'm looking like, ooh. He is standing here with his little discerning self, and he calling him out on everything. And it was just like, Yeah, I do. He was like, and if you go have a seat, we could talk about it. And so he went and had a seat. Like, this was a low rowdy classroom. So B walked in and spoke to everybody. And you heard the young man say, "That's the rapper." And everybody got quiet, right? And it was just funny. I was like, so y'all was going to keep making all this noise in this classroom while the teacher constantly yelling. But, that's the rapper. So B got up and he did a poetry piece for me and it messed them up because they were like, "We thought you rap." He was like, "I do, but I also do poetry. I also do these things. And I also work with my mom." And them kids was like, "Yo, mama? Like, are you serious?" And so I came up and I spoke to them and I was able to let them know about F2G and what we do and how we try to empower other people and give a platform for those who normally don't have it. And they were like, "Wait a minute, y'all own the station?" We like, "Yeah." And they was like, "Y'all don't just work at the station?" And it kind of got me. And I looked at them. I walked over to the young man and I got right in his face. I said, "We own it. It's ours." And he went, "Oh my gosh, you own the station." And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "You work with your son and y'all on," and they got the wow, wow. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that even nowadays that y'all don't think that black people can own a radio station because they're so used to our counterparts owning things and us working for people, and that's what they're used to because their parents probably are still working for people." And I was like, "No, we own it. It's called F2G, which is Faithful to God Network." And they looked at us, "Y'all Christian people?" And we was like, "Yeah." And they was like, "Wow." This one young man was just like, I'm in amazement. And he started talking about how he speaks 3 different languages. And I was thinking to myself, is this little boy putting in for his position? He he like, "I'm Pakistan. I do this." And he's talking about, and I looked at B and B was like, "Ma, I think he applying." And I said, "Well, get a little bit older. Let's talk when you get older. But maybe we can get y'all into it when we have our own actual brick and mortar. Then y'all can come through and take a tour. But we'll come back and maybe we can get some of y'all on the radio station with us." And they were so excited just to be able to come on. And as we were leaving out, I heard the young man said, they, because we brought up how we leaving a legacy. And the young man was able to tell us what legacy meant. And so as we were walking out, I heard him say, "See, that's how you leave a legacy. You get a radio station and you bring your son on, and then their kids come on behind it." Come on. Come on. I said, "Yes. That's how you leave a legacy." And he just started smiling. And I walked out, looked at B. I said, "That was amazing in itself." He in 5th grade. That is amazing. And he was like, "Mom." And then we come back through and they see us and they just like, "Hey, hey, hey." So it's like, I think we gave them something to push forward because one of the young men was like, "I wanted to start my own podcast, but now I want to own my own radio station." You know, I'm like, "Okay, you can have a podcast and own your own radio station. You don't have to do just one. Figure out what you need to do." But this is why our presence is important. Things that people don't believe is important at all. Career day. People that think that it's not important at all to come to a block club party and participate in somebody's block club. I've had B doing that for years. Block club parties, the mayoral events, different congressman events, and guess who out there? The kid. Guess who out there? B Snow. Who's setting up the rap next? You up? We were running around. We had our own little tour one summer, just going to different block club parties and him performing. But it was important for him to be seen. And that just grew and grew. Yesterday we were out and literally from him going to a young man's party who went to grade school with him, he went out and rapped for the block club party. This was, I want to say this was 6 years ago. He went out and rapped for them. Yesterday, Brandon was told by a new counselor at the same grade school. We went to check out his old grade school, and he went to talk to them. And what the counselor said to him, she was like, "Hi, you're B Snow, right?" He was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Hi, Mr. Snow." And he was like, "Hi, how are you?" And he was like, "Well, who you are?" And she was telling him who she was. And she brought up the young man's name. She said, "He talks about you all the time. You came to a block club party a while back for him. And he's been like promoting your music and telling every, come on, presentation, representation, consistency. This is what you're doing. You're building rapport with people. That when your name come up in these rooms, you don't have to be in it. Y'all know how on Hamilton when they said, I want to be in a room where it happened. You ain't even got to be in the room no more. Your name just flying all over the place. When they come out the room, they looking for you. That's what I want. I don't need to be in there with you all the time. But when you come out, be looking for me. I'm right here. Come find me. I'm just saying, making sure that your presence is known, making sure that you are active in who you are and knowing who you are. Coming into a room with confidence, pick that head up, walk with your chest up and your shoulders back. I didn't say chest out, ladies. I said chest up and shoulders back. Walk with that confidence. Get in there and sit down. Make sure that you got your purse close nearby your legs. Cross those legs. Make sure you're looking really attentive, okay? Because we know we'll start picking our nails sometimes. Let's look up. Let's make sure people can see our faces. Guys walking in and you walking in like the king you are, making sure that your presence is known when you sit down. Speaking up when people are talking to you, making sure that your voice is heard. This is how we move forward in everything that God is calling us to be, because He called us to do what He does. God ain't scared to do anything. God will do it with a drop of a hat. Let me go ahead and take care of this. I'm going to go ahead and drop this over here. He designed the earth. He painted a picture with the earth before it was even formulated completely. Let's put the sun up here. Let's bring that down to drop the moon, make the moon come up. Let's bring that down and adjust. This was a movie. We are a living movie for God. So when we walk into a place, know that you are starring in a role. Your role is that you are the star. You are taking over this place and you're coming in with that confidence that I already have this. This is mine. Go ahead and get it done. And that's what we're going to do going forward. Make sure that your presence is always known. Make sure that your presence is always known. Okay? We don't miss out. We don't move. We don't stop moving. We don't give up. We just keep doing what we do. All right. I love you guys so much and so good. This has been an amazing day for a morning social, and I'm excited that you all came on with us. So thank you for joining us right here on f2gradio.net. And thank you for joining us on Clubhouse at f2g.network and also on Facebook at f2g.radio and on YouTube at Faithful to God Network. And on my personal page today, I am Tennille. Yes, I am. I'm here. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back with y'all. If you want to have your own show right here with us, you can do that by sending a proposal for your show over to info@f2 entertainment.com. Go ahead and do that. If you want to be a sponsor for us, you can do that as well. And if you want to advertise with us, please come on. We have advertisement space available for you to rent out. Let's get going. We got stuff to do. Let's do it. I love you guys so much, so good. And we are out of here. I am so excited about today. I'm just saying. Let's go.
Lift your hands, I feel my mantle. I prophesy that you are entering into a season. That everything that God does for you from now on shall be major on top of major. I need you to open your mouth and shout major, 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 major. Every time you look up, look at your neighbor and say major.